The Saga of Brusi Sigurdsson. Born on the Isle of Orkney to Jarl Sigurd Hlodvirsson and his wife Olith, a daughter of King Malcolm II of Scotland, in 987, Brusi was the second eldest of their sons. Described by historians of the time as gentle, restrained, and a fine speaker, Brusi inherited the Jarldom jointly with his two eldest brothers, Somerled and Einar, when their father was killed at the Battle of Clontarf on April 23, 1014. Brusi controlled the northern half of the Isles, while Einar ruled the east and Somerled the west. For a while, the three brothers ruled well together, but Somerled died a year after, taken by illness. Einar, without asking Brusi, swooped in and took his elder brother's share. To keep the peace, Brusi said nothing and continued as if things were business as usual. But soon enough, the islanders grew tired of Einar's cruelty and harsh rule, putting high taxes on his people. And to make it all the worse, he was a horrible Viking leader, his raids poorly organized and fruitless much of the time, yielding little plunder to make a man rich. Brusi, in contrast, while not a warlike man by nature, fought well when he needed to, finding success on the battlefield and friendship off it, being loved by most of his subjects due to his fairness and kind heart. In 1016, Thorfinn, the youngest son of Sigurd, came back to the Orkney Isles from mainland Scotland, where he was being raised in the Scottish court by their grandfather. Einar, resentful he needed to share any power with the boy, only did so when Brusi made it clear he wasn't going to cut Thorfinn out of the Jarldom. While Thorfinn was still a boy, Brusi married Astrid Ragnvald's daughter, the daughter of Ragnvald the Old, Jarl of Västergötland, and his wife Lady Ingeborga Trygga's daughter of Trygga Olafsson, king of Viken, and grandson of Harald Fairhair in 1010. With Astrid, Brusi fathered two sons, Ragnvald, born 1111, Robert, born 1020. Little did Einar know that Thorfinn would become just as ambitious as he was when he grew up. When he reached adulthood in 1020, Brusi needed to ease the tensions between his two brothers in order for Thorfinn to fully take control of his portion. To avoid bloodshed from spilling, Einar being unpredictable, Thorfinn lived in Caithness, appointing stewards to govern his portion of Orkney. For a while, this did keep the peace, but soon enough, Einar caused problems. When Thorfinn sent a trusted friend, Thorkel, to collect taxes due him, Einar and his men chased the man off the island under threat of death. Once Thorfinn heard of this mistreatment, he and Thorkel sailed to Norway, where they met with King Olaf Haraldsson, overlord of the Orkneys at that time. Olaf sided with them and gave Thorfinn his blessing to use force if necessary. Thorfinn did, amassing an army of Norse Gaels, and landed on Orkney, where Einar met him in force. Only the timely intervention by Brusi saved the lives of their men that day. The elder brother talked his siblings into having a feast together, and they disbanded their armies. In October of 1025, Einar went to Thorfinn's hall in Dearness, where the two brothers supped together, getting along surprisingly well. But unbeknownst to Einar, Thorkel sent out spies while they feasted to check for traps, finding the way to and from his lord's hall was loaded with Einar's men ready to ambush them at any moment. Alerting Thorfinn to this, the two men played along with Einar's pretense of friendship. Then, near midnight, Thorfinn made a show of going to urinate. What he did in truth was double back on the hall with Thorkel, going in by stealth. They ambushed Einar together, taking his life. When the deed was done, Thorkel left for Norway to explain what happened to King Olaf. Brusi, while angry, understood his brother's reasoning, but he caused tension between them when he took Einar's portion for himself. Thorfinn asked for half, but this Brusi refused. The two men went to Norway to have Olaf settle the matter. The king decided to take Einar's portion for his own as repayment for Einar murdering his friend Eyvind in years past. He appointed Brusi as governor, and to make sure the Jarl compiled, he kept Brusi's eldest son Ragnvald at his court as a hostage, treating the boy well, but making it clear what would happen if Brusi stepped out of line. Jarl Brusi died in 1030,